It's a beautiful day, a little overcast. We have an interview today with Mr. Joseph Gercher. He's a mathematician and running for California State Assembly in District 20, along with a lot of other progressive Democrats. He's the only Republican, and today he's coming out to tell us his version of, what's important for Assembly District 20. Assembly District 20 is a district that's covering, for the most part, a lot of this rural area out there that's known as Sunol, but then it's also got Castro Valley, Hayward. It's got a part of Fremont and Union City. Now, what's interesting is that there's a demographic split in these areas that's, kind of maybe unique to this East Bay region. The Castro Valley area is predominantly white. Then we've got Hayward, which is predominantly Hispanic, Latino. And then we've got Union City and Fremont, or at least the section there that's, within District 20, that's predominantly Asian. And so this is a gentleman who has been running for office for several years now, and in a democratically, in a Democratic Party leaning state, region. I'm looking forward to a very interesting conversation with this gentleman, because he's essentially been at this for quite some time, and I don't know of other Republicans that have been at this for as long as he has, but apparently he's got a lot of things to say. And so in fact, that's what I was told about him, that he is angry about a lot of stuff, and that he's the only Republican. And I thought, okay, like, this is somebody I've got to check in with and get his perspective and share it with you guys. So I'm on my way to the new offices that are now at Salesforce Tower. We're located at 415 Mission Street, 37th floor, Salesforce Tower. That's south of Market, the Soma area. It's a really interesting space. I think more inspiring than what we had over at Embarcadero Center, which kind of ended up turning into a bit of a of a ghost town. Excuse me. The culture over there at Embarcadero Center was already kind of a bit sleepy before the COVID closures and such, but it really kind of hit like an all-time low in terms of like activity and such. And because it's all mostly, it's the financial district, so Embarcadero Center is right there in the heart of it, and they essentially kind of changed the entire culture of these office jobs of working from home folks, and so the place is empty. Embarcadero Center itself is a complex that has many mixed-use businesses in there that kind of give it a little bit of a vibrance, and it's still a great place to visit. It's just not what it used to be. And so when I had the chance to evaluate what was actually really good for us, I thought, we need to not sort of like pull out and think like, this office space in San Francisco ended up being kind of a dud. We never held any events there. It was we literally moved in right like in 2019, as we were going to head into that March 2020 dip in the market with the subsequent 2-week closure, right? So we have been sort of like in this lull along with everybody else, and since then all these companies have decided to just go virtual altogether. And so we thought, wow, like, where's the future of business going? And so the time just kind of eventually dictated what would happen. And after a lot of reflection, I thought, no, the Chamber's it's an organization that's out there. We're out there in the community, not just in the digital space, which is important. Chamber has been kind of in the rough and tumble of it all, and has decided to kind of stay the course. And in fact, instead of scaling down, we scaled up. And so the interesting thing about it is that now we have to kind of really bring it. Otherwise we won't have a sustainable, justifiable model, which is important. We have to have that balance. And so this new space we hope to turn into some type of community activity out there, kind of a hub, a community hub for us out in San Francisco. And while a lot of the stuff that we do with merchants tend to be at the merchant venue locations, that's at least traditionally what the chamber has done, with the mixers and events and things like that. We like to send business to the hotels and bring traffic to the restaurants and such, people that can help us on the hosting, hospitality side of things. There's always a great synergy there with the chamber membership, what we do, what the programs we offer there. So that works out really well. But the office space over in San Francisco is a bit different. We're gonna try to make it work in a kind of a very specially crafted type of event, more of like a social thing. So we're kicking around some ideas. It's sort of, you could say, baking still. I tend to, just personally, I'm the, you could say, like a big picture kind of person, and it takes me a while to sort of coalesce around an idea and get the thoughts down to the level where they become these tactical opportunities that we can execute on. And so we now are looking at some interesting new concepts that we want to introduce. And so what we need to get through, though, is kind of like this transition, and that's been this kind of long coming sort of a pivot to the new normal, whatever that is. Now we've got the war and the economic turmoil that comes with, and what was already kind of, we were in the wake of something along the lines of correction or some possible recession long before any of this medical stuff or the war stuff happened. But we're now just rolling with it instead of sort of waiting to see what where things settle. But there is a little bit of you could say like a tipping point that we have to experience at some point. And what I'm referring to are things like people's readiness to get out there. Certainly public policy has to be aligned with what we would like to do. We can't do events if we're being told that people should not be attending events. And if people have to be in masks, then what's the whole point of being out there risking anything, or trying to network underneath the mask? I mean, it's really a challenging situation. And so, I mean, coming from the vantage point that the chamber is approaching this with, because we have to deliver on a model that people understand, and people understand that chambers do events, we do mixers, we do these business education programs of all types. And so now we're hoping that with the new wave of what's happening, if we can just kind of get through this season here, we'll probably pull something off of this summer and just kind of ride it. But whether it will continue is probably the big question. So that right now is still to be seen. But anyway, lots to talk about. It's a beautiful day. I wanted to acknowledge Marisol Rubio, who just completely left her heart on the playing field, so to speak. You have to really bring it when it comes to this community service. I mean, just the sacrifices that one has to make are just crazy. It really taxes everything, your time, your wallet. I mean, before you know it, even though the chamber is looking to subsidize the activities of our our leadership whenever it's possible. And there are some nuances sometimes to when it's possible and sometimes when it's not. I won't go into this, but now, because it's kind of its own topic perhaps, but the idea of, you know, supporting the leaders who want to drive impact in the community is such an important thing. Kind of like in healthcare, you know, just to riff on that a little bit. Folks that take care of people that are in need, they, you know, there are some programs that help the caregivers. You know, not a whole lot, but there is some of that, and that's kind of along the lines of what I'm talking about. But anyway, the effort of Marisol was nothing short of Herculean. It was a massive, you know, project that she undertook, the heavy lifting, so to speak, of reaching out to these candidates, and I think most importantly, kind of like you know, helping us to set the pace and getting back out there. And so we gave it the good old college try, the big push, and we got some great results. So right now we're just riding that momentum that we got coming out of the gate. We have the primaries coming up, which means that, you know, what people want to do or think they can do within this amount of runway they have left is changing their perspective on, you know, what they prioritize right now. We have a very specific opportunity, and the value that comes with these interviews. We essentially are providing a communication channel. It's an outreach channel for these candidates, and what's more is that we're also doing a community service, which essentially is required before I'm weaving here on the street here trying to find the right toll lane, since they're all open now. No more toll booth collectors. We just sort of zip right through the first opening, and that sometimes sort of like at the grocery store when you have, like, you know, this lane or that lane, you know, this one looks a little shorter than that one, and you're like, oh, okay, weaving around. So I was saying that the momentum that we've established coming up, you know, to this point in the primaries is really key, you know, in having relaunched this and gotten us out of that little lull, you know, from the, you know, pandemic closure and doing everything virtual. And so, but what's interesting is that that said, we did come up with a format to do a really high quality recording with the video interviews. And so now that we're so close to the primaries, we did test out a process that allows us to basically push out a 1080p. That's the video quality, 1080p, and essentially get an HD recording of the interviewer and the person being interviewed. So it's a really neat concept. Check out the chamber page or our YouTube. Look for a video with Yesenia Sanchez. She's a local leader here in Alameda County, running for Alameda County Sheriff. So yeah, so this program is pretty pivotal in that it helps the electorate understand who's looking to drive change in the community, what specific changes we need to be focusing on, and, you know, who the best prospects are for the job, you know, who the best candidates are. So this is something that the leaders have, the candidates have taken on enthusiastically, and I think it's kind of an infectious, you know, program where once, you know, once everyone sees their peers out there, they you know, kind of want to participate too, and that's a wonderful thing, you know, to get that critical mass, you know, to get that momentum going. So that said, I guess the theme of this video is really kind of about momentum, and, you know, the changes that we're making, leadership, the sacrifices, sometimes the big push that it takes. We I think clearly are in what Seth Godin, a marketing author guru wrote in his book, The Dip. We're going through a certain kind of like inflection point that's kind of like a dip, where if we push through, then we in essence come out of the dip and reach new heights. You know, the heights being representative of like progress, benefits that we get, the return that we get on all of our efforts. And so what's happened is that after so many years of doing this with the chamber, which I've lost count, literally I believe it's going on like on 7 years, around there. I don't know. Well, let me see. Since oh my gosh, since 2015, I've been in the chamber leadership post. First with Contra Costa, then Alameda County, then the new San Francisco Bay Area Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. So here we are, trying to take it higher. It feels like the time has flown by. It's a beautiful day out here in the city. You can kind of see that's our new offices there. We're on the 37th floor of Salesforce Tower there, the tallest building in the city, not for any other reason other than it was kind of, you could say, like throwing the hat over the fence. I think I've referred to that metaphor before in another video, where sometimes before you can make any progress, you have to make a commitment that you can't reverse back from. So that to me was such a commitment to decide that we're going to be going into a totally new, more interesting space, a much bigger commitment, and not retreat, not pull back. So we are here we are. Can't put the genie back in the bottle. So but back to Marisol. Yeah, so she took on the role enthusiastically with the chamber. She she's wearing many hats and has an elected position. We delineate everything very, very carefully. She's taught me a lot regarding how to juggle. So I think that the way that she's taken on so many things is quite impressive. And I've been trying to share with all of our leadership everything that I've picked up over the years, little by little, and we're continuing to grow the leadership. In fact, right now we're at that point where you can say that there's kind of like a new phase coming, a new wave, and we have leaders that at some point sign on when the time is right, and time goes by, things change, and suddenly priorities, projects, and things like that have to change with that. So we're right now, I think, maybe at this new San Francisco office location, maybe host a leadership summit there. A little summit might be a bit grandiose. What I mean is like I think it's kind of like an open house, for the chamber, for people looking into the leadership. And hold on just 1 second, I've got a call coming here. Hi, this is Vo.
Hi, this is Jennifer from Dealers.
Okay, thank you for that. We are gonna get to the parking garage here. So the leadership summit, something along the lines of kind of like open house, meet and greet, connect with people that have been checking out the chamber. There's a whole host of folks out there, you could almost say like a segment of our constituency that's kind of watching, and they're thinking like, are these the guys? They're talking to everybody. They're kind of seeing who treats them how. We've actually seen that a lot with folks at our mixers, where they look at our events and the way that we treat people, and have shared that they feel like you know, they're with family when they come to the Chamber of Commerce. Oh my goodness. Okay, so there we are right there. I'm sure if you can see that there. All right. Yeah, and we have to go into that security. It's kind of a gauntlet getting into the office because, first of all, you know, you can see the parking around here. There's really like no street parking. So when I say that it's like a whole different level, I mean like a whole level of just crazy, the struggle and everything, just you know, getting things done. Very conducive to traveling by BART. If you want to come here, you know, by BART and visit us, that would be a really good place. So right now I'm just going to circle around here, and I have a parking spot here at a garage that I've booked. So if you guys have not checked out the app Spot Hero, highly recommended. And you know, actually it's booked at 1 o'clock. I came out just a tad bit early. It's 12:48. So I'm just gonna cruise around the block here, maybe pull over here somewhere. I literally have about 15 minutes to wait until my badge for the parking is open. So bringing a new leadership team together, or you could say like, you know, scaling the leadership, because it really does kind of, it's organic. Everything works in cycles. You know, people come in, people go out, people grow, people move on. You know, we have new people that are you know, looking for new things, new benefits. You know, things change for them, improve or get worse. You know, they literally sometimes join the chamber because they need to fix something, or maybe they're trying to, you know, improve something. So this is something that I think it'll be nice to come out into the city more as the summer rolls in, and I think that, you know, people feel a little bit more comfortable with just kind of being out in the open, and you know, the heat just kind of forces people out of their masks and makes them feel safer, you know, with all the vitamin D in the sun, which is reported to be very good for you, you know, in a situation like what we've just been through, what we're going through. So I think that we're probably going to see sort of things sort of peak. We're going to have the effects of the war kind of rear their heads. You know, the economic effects. We essentially have a situation happening at a global scale that's impacting the markets that are the very foundation of everything that we you know, partake in at a very local level, whether it be a job, a business. You know, it's maybe even like a specific government benefit. You know, that there are some stresses right now, some stressors being put on the market that are, I think are all sort of being revealed slowly. You know, the damage that we've created because of public policy is all coming together. And I frequently remind people that what's going on is the result of where the collective consciousness is. We have essentially a situation that, for better or worse, has given us, you know, what we've got, and what we have is, you know, kind of sounds a little harsh, but it's basically the result, you know, of what we created. You know, you could say this is what we deserve. You know, I mean, anything beyond that would be entitlement. You know, like if you if you expect something more from what we've produced, that's like entitlement. And this is a really challenging time for, you know, being in America, where, you know, we come from, you know, times when, you know, let's just say things were different. The things that we got came with a different level of effort than what things require now. And so everything's harder. You know, this is the millennials know this better than anyone. You know, they're coming into the market and finding that the bone has been picked clean, and, you know, they're being charged for the bone. The bone is on their tab. That's awful. It is awful, because it's the collective us. You know, they are us. You know, I have a daughter. I have a daughter who's a millennial, and you know, she's right now inheriting what you know, what we've left. You know, what she has a couple of kids. You know, I have a couple of grandkids, and they're growing up in all this. So I think that coming out of, you know, this little lull that we're in, I'm going to be looking for folks that come into the Chamber of Leadership who really want to, you know, as they say, you know, leave it all on the playing field, you know, and really look to use the Chamber as a platform to drive some type of impact in the communities where they live. And being that we're Bay Area wide, all right, this, you know, brings up opportunities all over the place. And because the region is so broad and the types of programs are even broader, I think that we're going to be able to offer quite a bit of options and opportunities to get involved and you know, roll up your sleeve and build something with us. What we did recently with the government affairs, or the government relations program that Marisol has been a part of, you know, she got a chance to get, you know, front and center, and you could say, you know, in a very intimate setting with these civic leaders who are trying to, you know, come into office and drive change across very huge demographic areas. You know, we're talking, you know, even at the congressional level. I mean, that's congressional districts are actually what's interesting are that sometimes the level of government doesn't necessarily dictate, you know, how big the district is. You know, we have some assembly districts that are, you know, supposedly too big for the liking of a lot of folks that are running for office. A lot of folks believe that these districts should be a lot smaller to give the electorate more of a say, because, you know, you have basically representatives that are more local to your area. I have no idea of holding this GoPro right here. I have this idea that it's kind of like ignorance is no excuse for breaking the law. I hold it on a mini, it's like a mini telescopic selfie stick, you know, my GoPro, and then I rest my hand on the shifter, you know, here in the center console, and I'm able to hold it steady there. Hold it steady without a gimbal. My arm doesn't get tired. I've got my arm here on the center console armrest, and I'm just holding it there. And to me, it's no different than, let's say, a cup of coffee. What a beautiful building. I love coming out here to the city to just stand, you know, in a single spot. And right now we're circling. There's Salesforce Tower right there. We're just buying time here. We had 15 minutes before my parking spot. I could get into the app and change the time and whatnot, but interrupting the video to do that, to save 15 minutes, was not really. Ooh, that guy just ran a red light. Okay. And a lot of these streets are no turn on red. I think all of them here in this area. So there we are. I'm going to maybe pause the video for now and focus on, parking, and then I need to go through security at Salesforce Tower, and I'll meet you up there in the 37th floor. All right, see you soon. There wasn't much of an opportunity to jump on the camera after that parking ordeal over there. A lot of cool things. I think I need to wear the darn GoPro on my on my head, one of those GoPro helmet cams. But yeah, we were just up there. We filmed an interview with Joe Gertcher, the only Republican candidate of the California State Assembly race in District 20. It's kind of interesting. We had a great chat. Interesting fellow. I think he's got a lot to offer society in general. It's not a kind of a partisan thing at this point. We're at the stage at which we're at right now in modern politics and society. We really need solutions, and I hope that you will find the video informative when it comes out. It should be out roughly about the same time that this video comes out. Not really holding on to assets very long these days, just because it's tough to keep up, tough to kind of have things all queued up and orchestrated, and for what, right? I mean, so much content, so many new opportunities to create content that there's really no point in sitting on anything. So look out for that interview with Joe Gertcher. We had a pleasant time. He brought his wife. We sat at the offices, kind of just getting acquainted, and quickly rolled into the interview, so there was really no time to sort of turn this video into more of like a documentary of heading into our new offices. But all in all, a very pleasant environment, to host. The amenities are, second to none. We are right now very happy with the space, and I believe that it's also going to be a great space to entertain you all when you are able to come out to maybe attend an event that we hopefully will do soon. Our guests took BART, so that was really smart. They're coming out from the East Bay, and so I think that was kind of like a whole ordeal for them to make it out to the city, so that's very much appreciated. I mean, this is a testament to the type of commitment that people make in their campaign races, and what they're willing to come out, what they're willing to do to come out and actually share with you all. So I hope that you will find the video informative. This is kind of leading now into the very standard commute, and I will sign off here until next time when I have something interesting to say. So take care all. All right, bye-bye.